It's the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Tune in. Tune in. Tune in. Tune in.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Black Real Estate Dialogue podcast. Before we get started with the episode, please leave us a 5-star rating on whichever platform you're listening to this on. And also, please be sure to write us a review. We would greatly appreciate it. Very excited about this episode. It's a long time coming, long time in the making. We have a group of great brothers here with us, 4 who are past podcast guests and 1 who's a first-time guest on the show. All good friends with one another. So we got them on. We have Lamon Woods. He was our guest on episode 10. We have Jeremy Taylor. He was the guest on episode 22. Emmanuel Baker. He was the guest on episode 15. Derrick Johnson, episode 40, and then Pierce Cooper. And the great part about this story is it all started with Lamon, and Lamon referred someone, and everyone just kept referring each other, which I think is great. I really love when that happens. So, fellas, thank you so much for being here. And I guess we can go one by one and y'all can just introduce yourselves. Let us know where you're from.
Me diving up first. I go first. Derrick Johnson. I'm from Monroe, Louisiana. Currently investing in Shreveport, Louisiana, and also Monroe, Louisiana as well.
Lamon Woods Family Estates. I'm from Monroe, Louisiana. All my investing is in Monroe, Louisiana, right in my backyard.
Emmanuel Baker, Monroe, Louisiana. I invest in Lake Charles, Monroe, and the Shreveport market.
Hey, I'm Jeremy Taylor. I own the Taylor family property, and I'm an investor in the Shreveport market, Shreveport, Louisiana.
All right, yeah, I'm Pierce Cooper, originally from Shreveport, Louisiana. Moved down to Monroe, and me and my wife been investing in Monroe past few years, and it's the DM acquisition.
All right. So since the last episode, everyone's been killing it. Everyone's been doing some amazing things. And so, Emmanuel, I know you opened the food mart, I believe, since the last episode. And during the last episode, you had talked about opening that up and providing that service to the community for those who heard episode 15. So how's that going? How's that going? We know you opened that within the last year, so we'd love to hear how that's going and how investing's going too.
Man, the food mart was going great, man. We opened up, I believe, in March of last year. Unfortunately, due to the hurricane, we had to shut down. But I'm currently in the remodeling phase again to get it back going. But man, we was open for about maybe 5 or 6 months, and the community it was overwhelmed, man. We received so much, appreciation and support. It was crazy, man. The biggest thing to me was we was providing jobs for the community and also fulfilling a need. And they needed healthy food choices. They wanted to be able to go to a local store without having to go to Walmart and other stores within the area that was right down the street. And so we provided a need, and then also was able to help the community out and keep the money circulating within the community. So man, I'm excited. I'm ready to get it back open. The community is ready as well. Everything's going pretty good, man. I'm kind of changing the format up just a little bit, more of a grocery than the restaurant. But I think it's going to be good for the future of the community. And the community is going to be overwhelmed with the amount of good things that we have coming in that area. So it's been good. And as far as real estate, I've been still been investing pretty heavy. I think last time I was on the episode, I think I had about maybe 10, 15 doors. Now I scaled it up to about 35.
Wow.
We've been, investing pretty heavy in the Shreveport market and also Monroe. So just trying to keep the marathon going, keep it going with the properties. And I'm also finna start getting on the general contractor side. So I'm studying for my GC test right now. Pretty excited about that. Looking forward to the future with that as well.
Definitely. How's sorry to hear about the hurricane. How's the rehab process coming along?
It's coming along pretty good, man. So as everybody knows, the price of lumber and material is just skyrocketed. It's crazy. So we in some crazy times in the construction phase, but you got to keep it going. We just got to allocate that cost in the budget and just keep it going. But it's coming pretty good. I say we're about 90% complete. Mm-hmm. It's just some rough tie-ins that we have to do on the inside, and there's finished painting and flooring. But I would say June, July is at the latest. We'll be back open.
Definitely. That's crazy. Like I remember in your episode, you were talking about just being very hands-on and understanding what's happening in rehab. And I think it's cool to see like over a year later coming full circle, and now you're getting your GC license. That's dope, man. I'm glad to hear about that.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. It's like we talked about in the other episodes, the power of mentorship.
Yeah.
Like my mentor is a GC, so I've been learning so much from him, and he was the main person that he said, hey, you need to go get your GC license. You know, I'll teach you everything. I'll show you what's on the test. You need to go get your GC license. And I said, okay. You know, so I'm very appreciative of him. His name is Alvin Brass. That's my guy. You know, we talk every day. A major shouts out to him, man. He's been able to help change my life. Crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's great, bro. It's great. And then Lamon, we've been in touch. I can't keep up with you anymore. I think when we did your episode, you had 50. I can't keep up, man. How things been going with you?
Oh man, everything been all right, man. Just continue to scale and grow and continue to build our systems and stuff like that. Talking to my brothers on the phone, you know, we have our real estate king call. They always talk about systems and putting people in place and stuff like that. So I kind of took that advice. You know, my brother Jeremy showing me the calendar, Derrick and Emmanuel talking about systems and stuff. My brother Pierce doing the remodels and stuff like that. So I kind of took that advice, and I've been able to build our systems and get people in place so I can work on the business instead of in the business and stuff like that. And since we talked about a bunch more properties since we did that in 2019, I bought my first small multifamily, and I bought my first small commercial building. I bought 2 small commercial buildings in the package deal with 2 single family homes. So I'm excited about that. And the thing is, it's right there in the hood that we grew up in. It's right down the street from the job that I worked at. So I'm excited about that, to get that up and running and just to have my own office and my own space. So when my bros come in town, if they got to conduct some business or something like that, and just in there chilling, and we can have a section for us to meet and mingle and have my landlord meetings every quarter and stuff like that. So just continue to scale and grow, and just, you know, I kind of learned since then, you know, work on the system and not on the house. So now it's just about working on the system and not on the house, and making sure, you know, you kind of putting everything in place and stuff like that. Just still making mistakes and still learning as I go and stuff like that. I ain't got it all figured out. It ain't always all good. It ain't always all bad, but just still growing and still building and stuff like that. You know, my wife being by my side, my dad, you know, I got my wife cousin Brittany. She worked with us right now and stuff like that. So everything just been kind of shaping itself out, and the business is starting to look how I always imagined it looked. Me just running around and doing different stuff. Now I'm kind of in the project manager role, and I get to do different stuff, other ways to make money and stuff like that, since I don't have to like just physically be in the business and stuff like that no more. So it's just everything been working out fine, man.
That's good. How what's the plan for the commercial space? And it's crazy because I remember during your episode you just talked about package deals. So I think it's cool that now the commercial space is part of the package deal, kind of going to another level. So can you talk to us about like what the plans are with the commercial space? And I think it's also great that it's where you grew up. I think that's powerful, man.
Yeah, then the better. It's like 1 minute away from the job that I retired from.
Crazy.
And, was able to go full time. So it's crazy. You know, that I think the day when I get it renovated and I get it going, I'm gonna really shed a tear. Just the fact that it's right there from the job and like right across the track from we went to the recreation center and grew up and stuff like that. You know, had a grand opening with my bros and stuff like that. So the plan is it's gonna be called Prolific Square, and the plan is it's gonna be like a hub. My brother Derrick got the Strive for Success, so we bring what he do really good. He gave the scholarship out today, and we bring the young kids and then the youth and talk to them and teach them and stuff like that there. And Jeremy, Emmanuel, we all talked about that too, and Pierce and just so I have like it'd be me and my wife office, and then I have Brittany office, then I have 2 office spaces for rent. And then I got a nice size conference room. It's not overly big, but it's enough to fit like 10, 15 on the high end side up in there. And we'll just like meet every quarter and just have like a mixture or something. Like we just get in there and play some nice music and talk and chop it up talk to other landlords and stuff like that, though. So I got a lot of work to do to the building, but it's making progress. I just got the water meter found so we can do the plumbing and stuff like that. Got a lot of work to do, but I'm really excited about it and stuff like that. So I'm trying to create it to be a hub, like a hub for like local entrepreneurs. My brother Derrick, I was talking about getting the young kids and stuff like that and like teaching them a trade, because Jeremy elaborated on it a lot too. Like, you know, we work with a lot of older people and they like twice our age and they work for us, or they work with us. So it's like, we have to teach the next generation how to be a contractor and stuff like that. Like Pierce, the youngest contractor I know, like before was a guy named Alvin Thomas in the area and stuff like that. Just so just teaching them. So like we might need a painter, we might need a floor guy and stuff like that, teaching the next generation financial literacy and credit and leverage and OPM and OPT and all that stuff. So they just the plan for it is gonna be called Prolific Square, and that's out the late great Nipsey Hussle. Yeah. And we just gonna turn it into a situation where we can come in when the bros come in town. We have our meetings and our lunch, and we just chop it up. And my landlord meetings and stuff like that. That was the biggest thing, having a little space so I can have my landlord meetings and stuff.
Amazing. Glad to hear it, man. And Jeremy, man, Jeremy shut the internet down. He bought a whole block. So Jeremy, tell us,
he went crazy.
Man, tell us more about that. Tell us about how the rehab is going, all that stuff. I know we sent some messages back and forth talking about it at the time. But yeah, catch us up on how that's going, man.
I was saying back in September, we bought a block of property, bought 27 doors. And the construction kind of took a turn in one of the buildings. So we ended up having to jump across the street to another one of the buildings where it didn't, which is where I'm sitting right now, where it didn't take as much rehab. It wasn't as extensive as the building across the street. So, you know, renovations are going pretty good. We actually finna rent our first building on the block this week. We got some tenants lined up. It's been a roller coaster, man. When I tell you it's been a roller coaster, it was the oddest thing happened. Actually happened this morning. I had I don't know what it was, but someone actually broke into, one of the units that I posted on my page. And they actually broke in to come in and steal, but instead of stealing, I guess they fell in love with how well we've actually, made the building and rehabbed the building. And so, they ran through the building, just in a while, like, hey, man, he really, rehabbed this building. So great thing about it was they ended up not taking anything. They ended up not, damaging anything, and they just walked back out the front door. But it's been some up and downs, and that comes with the territory. But like I say, this week we'll start cash flowing. We took care of some major issues over at the building we originally started with, and we rolling from one building right back to the next. And I kind of got a system going, and I'm trying to build my system, like Emmanuel Hot Dog and Derrick, to the point where I'm more hands off and not so much in the mix. They always say it's trading time for money. And so I'm trying to get to that point to where I can kind of, back up. I'm just that, a hands-on type person. But I got to get out of that. Yeah. So when my bros and them come into town, I'm not saying, hey, let me wrap this up. When they come in town, I want to be like, hey, let's go grab a drink. Let's go sit at a boxing and do whatever it is we want to do. So working on the block is teaching me to implement systems and work for the business. Work on the business and not work for the business. And so I'm definitely learning, man. And we ended up, we purchased, a lot of property. So I don't think I'm gonna be actually purchasing anymore this year. Mm-hmm. I think I'm just gonna rehab what I got, just focus on what I got and build my rent roll, and, keep it going and keep it going.
Definitely. How did that deal come together?
Well, I was actually, I'm always driving for dollars in my area, Highland. And I was riding up this street. I actually tried to buy this street of properties. It was actually 52 units 2 years ago. But some of the units were purchased. And so when I looked it up and I saw it was actually in limbo with the bank or whatever, I reached out to the banker. And I had a young lady who I was teaching how to wholesale. And she ended up, I ended up helping her work the deal. Well, unfortunately, I took over the deal, and I was like, hey, I kind of, the street kind of grew on me, and because I started looking at the numbers, and I was like, well, hey, listen, what if we can negotiate this? What if we can negotiate this? And like Lamon say, the deal is only as good as the negotiation. And so, man, we worked up a deal where we paid 103,000 for 27 units. That's worth 2.6, 2.7 million, right? So, in negotiating that, how can you let something like that pass? So you got to snatch that, and you got to jump on that, and you got to make it worth your while. And so, like I say, one day we was just driving. It all started from driving for dollars. That's something that, that's a way that I always, would want to do it. I'm, to each his own. So it all started from driving for dollars.
Definitely. Love it, man. And is it in condition where like all the properties eventually over time have to be fully rehabbed, or some of them in like okay condition? Like what's that look like?
Well, this building and two other buildings were pretty much, cosmetics, but I do things different.
Mm-hmm.
I go in and I wow them, right? I try to bring them up, make them look real nice and modern, add the can lights, the new windows, vinyl plank flooring, new drywall. I want to go in and make the property as new as possible, to the point where when I leave out, I don't have to come back for at least the next 5 years. Right? You don't have to call me.
Yeah.
So we go in and we do all new electrical, all new plumbing, all new HVAC. And these were older buildings. And so they needed that mechanical attention. And so I go on in and I go ahead and take care of that up front. And that way, if something do happen, I know it's not nothing important. I know it's just something cosmetic that needs to be fixed, maybe like a door or a hole in the wall, or something basic of that nature. And so, it's hard to say. Some people walk in and say, I'm just going to do this, 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 this. Mm-hmm. But me, when I walk in, I'm already prepared for the worst. So I'm just going to go in and we're going to make it do what it do.
Definitely. Love it, man. Love it. Cool. And Derrick, what you been having going on, man? Looking like $1 million over there. How things been going with you?
Oh man, it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that, man. I had to apologize to the fam, man. But I've been running, man. So I had a little scholarship that actually, man, all of us except Pierce on the line, we are with the Carroll High School. So just gave away a scholarship, man, which is something we annually do. We always all together. So what have I been up to? Well, you know me, man, just trying to get to it. One thing about me is I'm not hands-on. I would say I'm the least hands-on guy at the group. I spend more time in the clouds, man. And I never was afraid to say that from the beginning. Like I'm not nailing anything. I'm not hanging drywall. How much does it cost? And so that's really the guy that I am. I sit back and just look at the numbers. And so I still work a 9 to 5. I don't plan on retiring anytime soon from that. Me and Emmanuel run Isle Investments together, and we both got our individual companies. And so we since then, man, we've purchased a new single family, but then we're in the middle right now purchasing a package deal of 5. And on the personal side of my LLC, man, I've become a land shark. So I think the last time that you and I talked, man, I did like a dope little deal where I bought a house. Yeah. Oh, and I bought my cousin a house too. Shout out to Lamon Woods, man, for buying his dad a crib that he never really talked about. But I bought my cousin a house since then. And one thing led to another. So I'll be getting into the Airbnb game as well.
Nice.
But
also, man, I'm building from the ground up too. So that project is like 70% complete. So I'm in new construction, man. I'm looking for land. So that's really what I got going on too, man,
Man, it's crazy. I remember you mentioning at that time it was like very, very early. So it's amazing to hear that it's like 70% done. So can you talk to us more about that project and just what it's going to be in the end? And I guess the plan also to like purchase more land too.
Smooth. So man, for me, I just wanted to kind of just not even so much to just be different. We always talked about building as the NFL of real estate, right? Because we talk about when you build it, you can sell it, you can get off of it, you can rent it for the best cost in the area, you can raise the rents in the area. So I just wanted to challenge myself. So I think at the time I had purchased the land, but the way that the deal came together, I know you're going to get into the deal. I bought the land for about $4,500. And I went to eBay, purchased my blueprints for about $20. And I took that to the city, got all that stamped and cleared by the city for about another $150. So I'm building a single family on the land. So once I took that just the land, the bare land itself, raw land, I took it to the bank, it appraised for $74,000. So we're gonna end up building a single family for about $60,000.
Wow.
You know, man. So we got some equity built into the deal, man.
Yeah.
But you know, I could have done better. It's a feat, and I got my bros. We all gonna celebrate that, man. We're gonna celebrate it like it's a new year, you know, because I came from nothing, man. So you know, to even be on Owl Street, I grew up on Owl Street. I was born on Owl Street. My family's from Owl Street. Our company name is Owl Investments. And so I managed to get a piece of the pie on Owl Street. So I just think that is riveting and, you know, just a major accomplishment to be building on that same block.
Incredible, man. Love it. Love it. Love it. And then Pierce, and introduce the people to yourselves. Let us know, you know, what you got going on in the real estate game. We'd love to hear from you, man. All the guys have been speaking well of you, man. So I'm glad we get to share your voice and your experience with the world.
Oh man, I appreciate that. These some good guys out here, man. I'm glad I ran into these guys, man. But basically, man, I was been investing like about 3 years or so. Started in 2018. Bought the first property in 2018, which I'm actually in the process right now of selling it to Emmanuel. So shout out to Emmanuel on that. But so I bought the first one in 2018. I think that year we ended up buying like 4. It was like the back end of the year. 2019 we ended up doing. I think that's the year we did like around 30. Right now altogether we had like 43 doors.
Wow.
So 2019 we did right at 30, I want to say. And then at the top part of 2020, like before the pandemic, like we bought six doors, and I hadn't bought anything since then. And you know, throughout the process, I bought a lot of properties that like needed, you know, full renovation and stuff like that. And for the most part, you know, I was in there mixing it up, helping out. I had a main guy who did a lot of work for me, and I would sub out different things like HVAC, electrical, plumbing, things like that. But just over the time, you know, I kind of just grew to enjoy the process and actually like getting there. Like Derrick said, he don't want to mix it up. Now I don't like the complete opposite though. You know what I'm saying? I just left before we got on the call. Just left the property that we were renovating for somebody, and you know, up under the you know, these houses built off the ground, so I'm crawling under there, rerunning pipes, plumbing. In the attic earlier yesterday, we were in the attic doing some duct work and everything. So, you know, I get in and I mix it up, man. And so, like I said, right before the pandemic, we bought the 6. That was around February. Hadn't bought anything since then. And it's kind of like my focus now for about the past year or so has just been kind of like trying to renovate a few of the properties that I have left to get up and running. And then also at the same time, we've been building up the construction company. So I've been slowly like building my team on that, building my skills on that. So it's been working out pretty good. Did pretty much everybody in here, probably besides Jeremy, because we're in a different market. At some point in time, we did a project for one of these guys. So I appreciate them for showing us love and support. And they're constantly like sending me references and, you know, different opportunities and everything. So I appreciate these guys for that. But yeah, man. So my like I said, my thing, I'm not buying real estate right now. I kind of got to a point now where I'm at like what I feel like I can manage right now until I revamp my system and get into more of the property, get into more like somebody helping me manage the properties and everything. So when I do go back, when I do go back to buying, I feel like now a lot of money that I spent on construction and getting new HVAC and new plumbing and all of these things in the past, I'm developing or trying to grow my crew now to where, I can just go in there, buy the property, turn around, fix it up, 2 weeks, be out of there, refinance, and get on to the next. So that's my approach right now. So I'm kind of like, I felt like there was a need for me, and why I kind of lost out a lot while I was buying property is because I didn't have, the adequate crew to just go in there and run through the property like I needed to. So, I'm learning a lot more, growing the team a lot more. I'm sorry, I had a call. I don't know if it should or not. But I'm growing the team a lot more and doing the things that I need to do there. So, in the future, when I do get back into it, probably 2021, so I'll be able to knock them out a lot faster than I was before. So that's kind of like what my approach is right now, man. My main focus is kind of just managing the properties that I got, and then managing the properties that we have now, and then turning back around, just building that construction and that crew. So
Definitely. Thanks for sharing, man. Thanks for sharing. So it's amazing, man. I'm so proud of all of you. Y'all all been really killing it in the game. And with that comes some challenges, right? Some challenges you got to overcome. You're still here. You haven't sold off everything. So I guess I would love to hear just like, some of that side too. Just lessons you've learned, challenges you've had. I guess since the last time we spoke, I just love to hear about some of the things you had to persist through. And I guess, yeah, Lamon, go for it.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, man. For me, it was just like the one goal was to get out the job. I was doing hustling to get out the job. But now that I come back full circle and I got time where everything in my life is slow motion, it's a lot of properties I wouldn't have bought. It's a lot of decisions I wouldn't have made. It's just a lot of things that I would have did.
Are you looking for a community of like-minded individuals and access to experts in real estate? Yeah. Are you interested in real estate but need more support and guidance? You know who it is. The Black Real Estate Dialogue presents the Real Estate Investing Community. No matter how much or how little real estate experience you have, we've created a community for you because your perspective is important. All right, tell me, where's the number one place where you can do Q&A with experienced guest speakers 2 times per month? How about unlimited access to past guest speakers' recordings? What about a private Slack channel to engage in daily discussion with everybody in the community to share resources and support each other? Head on over to blackrealestatedialogue.com. That's blackrealestatedialogue.com. It's the real estate investing community presented by the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Come join us today.
I got different things to do, but now that like was better for vacancy, maintenance, all different type of things that I do and stuff. Job as early as I did at 29 years old. I'm going on being being in my 3rd year of entrepreneurship soon. So the other thing my wife told me, it was like roughly around $8,000. We lost a total of like $8,000 that year in rent from non-payment tenants. We had like 4 tenants that just didn't pay for months. The longest one of them didn't pay was for 5 months. So we went through that and, just went through a lot of different stuff like managing the projects better and stuff like that. Cause it's kind of different for me because I work for my dad. So it's kind of like I let him freestyle. And then my bro Jeremy was like, man, I got the calendar, I got this. So I took that advice and said, no, you ain't freestyle. This is what you're going to do. You're going to do this right here that I got wrote down. And this is the way we're going to do it and stuff like that. So I learned a lot, man, and just working on learning time is money. So if time is money, if I'm hanging out a property every day, I listen to a podcast that focus on the income producing activities only. So now it's like I'm focusing on what's going to bring the next dollar, next revenue, instead of me being at the properties, me doing this and me doing that, just putting them systems in place to create that buffer between me and myself. I'm smiling, saying I'm looking good. I ain't talking to tenants no more. I'm out. I'm good. My life good. I can talk to my wife. Like I feel better, man. And when my bros come tell me to go to lunch, I'm clean. I ain't got my work boots anymore. no more. I'm just doing stuff different now and moving different, and so it's just been good. But it's been challenges. And one thing we did, me and my wife was like, we're gonna do more Section 8. So coming in 2021, we did a lot more Section 8, and also we did a lot more owner finance. So with a lot of my tenants, we paying the bank. They paying us a mortgage payment every month, and they taking one thing they do is help them in home ownership. So now we don't have to maintenance the property, et cetera, because of they paying us a mortgage payment every month. And some of them don't have the financing and the credit to get a loan. So now we basically come in and say, hey, if your rent is $600, I can move your rent down to $550 or $500, and you can own the finance the property for us with a down payment down up front. And they liked it. They like, I could save $100 a year. That's $1,200 a year. They pay a small down payment with the stimulus and taxes or whatever type of money they have. And now they got some pride in home ownership. So now when you ride through the block, a lot of yards are mowed. Hedges are clipped. It's a lot of different things because it's not a renter anymore. Like they got some pride in it now because it's their home and stuff like that. So I noticed a big difference with that and stuff like that. So it's just pivoting and finding other ways to stay above float, man. But it's been challenges working on the systems and stuff like that because you really got to, I like me and Pierce kind of started the same way. I wasn't trained to sit down and stuff. It's always go. But now I've been sitting down. It get kind of boring some days and stuff like that. But I got my notepad and stuff like that. I'm always writing stuff down and stuff like that and just working on the system because, I just train my mindset, like work on the system and not the house. You got people, you employ people for that. You got people in position for that. So you let them take on them duties and you just work on the system and stuff. But I lost money last year. This year's has been better. But it's just been a lot of ups and downs. But we have done a lot of Section 8. Sometimes they're a pain in the butt, man. Section 8 always, but me and Pierce was talking about that today. Yesterday, how Section 8 can be, but there's Section 8 and some owner financing to kind of create that buffer. So with the pandemic, so we wouldn't lose as much money as we did last year. This year we was more proactive and we got in front of it instead of like waiting till it come to us like we did last year because it was so uncertain last year. We didn't know what was gonna happen with the eviction shutdown and the court shutdown and stuff like that there and stuff. But it come with its own challenges and stuff, been ups and downs, man. But we always talk about every day taking the good with the bad. So I just learned to take the good with the bad and keep it working. For me, I had a day job that I hated, that I didn't make no money. So for me, bro, like I'm out the job. That's free. I run my own plays every day. Like you know what I'm saying? So that's a different type of, you know what I'm saying? So some people, a lot pile of money might be rich. But to me, running my own plays every day, that's rich. Like even if I made 20 bands, like ain't nobody telling me what the guy I got going on. I can go to lunch when I want, XYZ when I want and stuff like that. I'm not saying nobody with a job can't do that. I don't know what they can do, but I'm just saying I hated my job. So just, being out the job, just taking the good with the bad, continue to learn and continue to grow and continue to educate myself. Because you don't reach a level when you get to this point. Yeah, we own a couple $1 million in real estate, but you ain't made it yet. It's levels to it. So you continue to learn, you continue to educate yourself, and you continue to grow. I'm in masterminds. I'm in a big time entrepreneurship coaching group. I'm learning from guys that's a developer. One guy on the call on 24 million in real estate. He built none of the single duplexes. So I'm learning number game from him. He's telling me this, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that. So just continue to learn and continue to grow and stuff like that. But entrepreneurship is a roller coaster, man. It ain't always glamorous. It's people make it seem on Instagram and social media. It's a roller coaster, man. It's days you're gonna be like, I love this stuff. Days I hate this stuff. And for me, I'm gonna be honest with you, real estate ain't my passion. Freedom is like real estate. I don't love real estate every day. Do I make a lot of money from it? Have it helped me, be able to retire from my job at 29 years old? Yeah, but I ain't gonna wake up every day and say, hey, I love real estate and this and this. No, man, because I don't want to deal with that crap every day. But it's just, I never been this financially up in my life. So this what, God placed a store in front of me. I made this much money and, continue to grow. So I just take the good with the bad. But, it's nothing that I can wake up every day and say I love to do. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. But everything comes with its own challenges, man.
Love it. Love it. What about you, Emmanuel? I know you mentioned the hurricane was pretty challenging. Were there any other challenges and things you had to just work through since we last spoke?
Yeah, man, I would just say, first of all, just with the pandemic in 2020, getting hit with unforeseen things that we as investors couldn't imagine. And so that was pretty big. It was a point in time where or half our tenants wasn't paying. So we just had to figure it out, come up with different systems, like Lamon said, to implement and just try to figure out ways to make sure that we was getting our banknotes paid. Thank God that we wasn't in a situation where we had to go in forbearance and different other things due to tenant not paying rent. But it just forced us in a situation to just have to figure it out. I feel like all businesses solve problems. So it's the same thing with real estate. We solving a problem. It's the housing need. People need somewhere to stay. So you're gonna always have a need for this, but due to what happened with the COVID, and different laws and different things they had, it was more lenient on tenants not being able to pay. So it just forced us to try to figure it out. We had to continue buying, and just keep growing the portfolio. And then that's the rough phase about it too, because I'm in the middle of growing my business and then getting hit with something like that. So it just forced you to adapt. You got to be like a chameleon. You got to blend in. You just got to adapt. So it just helped me become sharper in the business, paying more attention to the numbers and different things like that. Strict budgets, any cost saving that I can get, try to jump on that. Just make sure that everything was on the up and up on that. And also just with the restaurant, like I said, it was a challenge growing that business. And so it was just gives me the opportunity to kind of sit back and revamp. And that's why I told you we're going to kind of change up the format of the restaurant to more of a grocery style. So it helped me take the back seat, kind of look at and analyze over the last 5 months of running the business. What could I do better? Where could I give people a little bit more offerings at and different things like that? And so it gave me the time to just sit back and come up with a new game plan and then implement it. And so it's been rough. It's been a little bit rocky, but at the end of the day, we kept it going and just trying to figure it out throughout this journey.
Love it. Love it. Love it. And Jeremy, I know you're sitting inside of one of your cribs. What are some things that you had to work through in the past year, especially, during COVID? I know, it hit everybody in different ways.
My apologies. Yeah, it did hit in different ways. And to be honest, COVID was my best time. I actually only had maybe two tenants, one tenant actually pulled the stunt to not pay. But, the other tenant, they just gave me a heads up and said, hey, Jeremy, we can't pay. Well, we're not going to pay. We're going to move. They got their stimulus money, and that's what they did. We actually did some full renovations through the COVID. And hell, we made all of our biggest purchases. Last year we ended up purchasing a total of 40, between 38 and 41 units.
Yeah. And
so, excuse me, I keep getting the phone call. I'm sorry. But between the units that we purchased, like all of them weren't bad. Of course, we purchased 27 over here on Wyandotte. We purchased another quadplex. We purchased a triplex. We purchased in a single family house. We purchased a couple of single family houses. And so COVID, it wasn't a strain on me, like I honestly felt like they were, giving me more, during that time versus, times before. I had my fair share of struggles before. But what I did learn through COVID though, man, like it's better to be prepared than to not be prepared. You don't ever want to get caught with your pelking. It's better to stay ready than to have to get ready. And so when I was on the phone with Derrick, like we was talking about it, and as we were talking about it, like they were telling me their ups and their downs, their highs and their lows, and everything that they were going through. I'm not a big fan of Section A, but Hot Dog and Emmanuel stress Section A so much, like, hey, Jeremy, even if you're not a big fan of it, maybe you might want to just get your property section approved just in case something like this happens again. And now you already section approved, all you gotta do is move your people in. Section 8 money is guaranteed money. They stress that. And it's a good thing to have. Fortunately, I had working class tenants that went to work every day. They came home, they paid their rent. Some of them was late. And that's typical. Another thing that I experienced that I'm getting better with this year. I was about to buy me an office last year, but I was so caught up on buying all of these units. I bought so many units till it gets overwhelming at times. I know we talk about peer situation. I reflect on how Pierce bought all the units at one time. He didn't have the manpower to keep going and keep going and keep going. And so if I could take it back, would I not purchase all those properties at one time? I'll probably still make the purchase because of what I got them for. But if I could get them at the same price, spaced out, I would prefer to get them at the same price, spaced out over time. And that way I'm not sitting with empty building, empty building, empty building, empty building. Although the buildings are free and clear and it's not costing me money, it's just a situation where you don't want to, be sitting and you got to worry about people going in this building, people going in this building. You're just doing things. And so another hardship, I would say that I'm finna, nip in the bud this year. Main with Derrick, Hot Dog and Pierce, they got systems set up to where someone either collects their rent or they have a location where rent is dropped off at. Me, I'm still boots on the ground saying like,
yeah,
I'm at your door. Hey, for my money, like, I have to send a text, reminder text.
Yeah.
And so that's time consuming and it can be a big inconvenience. And so this month or June, I am going to go ahead and purchase my office. I set a goal and I said, hey, Jeremy, I don't care what's going on. You're going to purchase this office me and my wife, we said that we were going to purchase our office by June. In the second quarter, we're going to purchase that office. And so that is that. And we're actually expecting a baby girl in August. So we have to have a location. We have to have a location where we can come to in Highland that we can actually be at and, work remotely from there and not work from home. We stay probably maybe 20 minutes from Highland. And I don't know about you, Sam, you in California, that probably ain't no drive to you, but down in the South, like that's a drive in Shreveport. Mm-hmm. And so having a remote location, like Hot Dog said, having a remote location, man, is big. Place where people can drop off rent, place where you can conduct business, places where you have a hub. So when Derrick and Emmanuel and eventually when Hot Dog and Pierce, they start investing in the area, they can come into this area. Just a hub to, just be able to just go and have like brunch and chills and, lunches and different things of that nature. So you want to be able to have somewhere where you can do that. And I feel that would increase my business because I'll then have someone, answering the phone. I won't be in front of it anymore. I'll have someone, making sure the applications get filled out because we do the tenant cloud. Mm-hmm. And so going through that, I'm gonna make sure the secretary understand how they can fill out the link and what information they need to send in to be approved, the approval process. And so having that hub, it gives you that, opportunity to bring all this stuff, implement this stuff in one place and, you not kind of be all over the place. So that's something, like I said, the pandemic wasn't as bad to me or for me, but, I did, have some hiccups in making, too many purchases at one time. And then, trying to actually find that remote location to be able to, operate out of is something that, I learned. I'm gearing and reaching, toward making all of this happen, making it come to fruition. Also, one more thing I would like to say this.
Yeah.
Buying last year may not have been so bad because we're in the seller's market right now. So being in the seller's market, everything is shot through the roof. It's top dollar. You're paying top dollar for everything. So maybe it was a good thing that I made the, abundance of purchases that I did. But, again, I wouldn't take it back if I could do it. I'd just do it more strategic. So that was a dope situation.
Love it. And Derrick, what about you, man? How was COVID for you? What are some things you worked through over the past year?
Oh man, I mean, like it was COVID, it was terrible, man, because in the beginning, like when those laws started coming out, pro-tenant laws, how we speak on it. When those started rolling out, man, we really didn't know what we was gonna do. Honestly, man, we sat on a call, all of us, man, and we talked about how unfair it was. But it was something that we can't do. And I want to double back on what Hyde said, Emmanuel, and I'm quite sure Pierce and everybody, man, we had reserves. So I want to tell anybody listening to the podcast, you got to cover yourself for a rainy day. Buying your Cuban links and your bust down rollies. That ain't what this about, man. You got to have some reserves because nobody could have predicted COVID. Nobody, right? So, man, not only that, we had storms, man. We had 3 major storms. I think Hot had a house burn up too. So, I mean, man, we had 3 major storms. Plus, we just had the ice storm. So put in 4 down here in the South, So we had 3 major storms that came back to back, ripped our roof off on Hamilton, right? Then we had some damage, and that's the pictures we was talking about previously before we hopped on, man, about the paint job. So, man, we had insurance companies pressing us for that, and just thankful to the Most High that we was able to have reserves in the bank. We was able to still maneuver. Now, one thing about us, we do have kind of a property management in place, with long distance investors, and at least in that market, in that hub. So for me, man, working at Disney, an internship, customer service. So one thing that COVID did, if you wanted to be one of these power landlords that disrespected your tenants, they wasn't paying you because they took advantage of you. But if you took care of your people, you stayed on top of your game, you treated them with respect, and you treated them like a customer first, number one customer service, why I reference Disney as it being one of the top companies in the world, then the people work with you. Yeah, you had 2 or 3 bad apples, but like Jeremy said, Jeremy probably built a great rapport with those people. That's why he didn't have an issue. And the same thing was for us. We was able to just implement some things. Hey, just work with us. Just let us know what you have. Just let us know what you got, and just not skip out town on us. So we really didn't have so many issues when they came about. But, we went through it too.
Definitely. Pierce, what about you? What are some things that, you had to work through over the past year?
Oh man, it just shoot, man. Like you said, I know everybody on here at some point in time we lost money. The tenants not paying rent. I ended up losing a lot of money, but thank big shout out to Joe Biden getting that last stimulus bill passed and starting to get some of that rental reimbursement money, and just dealing with not so to say employees, but just people that you work, people that work with you. I don't really like to say people work for me, but people that work with you, just not being reliable. You know what I mean? Putting like having expectations on somebody being there and then turn back around, they're not there, and it forces me to have to work more and push my jobs back. And, you know what I mean? Because I make commitments to people and everything's scheduled out, and I'm expecting certain people to be there and they don't. So just dealing with people, which I know, any company or any small or major corporation has to deal with, and that's getting the work done basically. So yeah, like I said, the biggest thing losing that money during COVID from rent, but for the tenants that did stay and that didn't move, we've been able to start getting some of that money back, because the government passed the last stimulus bill, so some of that rental money been coming back. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, like I said, my biggest thing is just dealing with people, man. having expectations on them being there, and they don't have the same standard that you do. You know what I mean? That usually sets you back.
Definitely. So I got a question for the group, man. So y'all are killing it. We got probably a couple hundred doors collectively here. Have y'all ever thought about in the future doing something together, like doing a deal or some kind of like business venture of some sort together? Has that ever come up in the group chat?
Yeah, man, we plan to do that, but we always talk about being transparent and keeping it real. All of us from a real place. We go through our bumps and bruises and stuff like that. And we just not getting to the point where all of us mature enough, I think, to step up and say, hey, let's do this, let's do that, because in the beginning, it was like we trying to figure out what we're going to do. One person do this, and like, I don't know about that. This person do that, and I don't know about that. But now I think we I was just telling our boy Emmanuel yesterday evening, like we kind of at this space now where everybody mature enough to say, hey, let's do that. And, my brother Derrick been talking about teams and stuff like that. We do the football camp, I help him out and stuff like that. It's his idea, but I always step up and help him out. And he always talked about teams and doing this and doing that. And at first, for me, I just talk for me. I didn't, because me and my wife had did so much, I didn't think that was like, I had to do that. And I was listening to a Nip song, and he was like, enterprise take lucrative steps. And when you come together and you enterprise and you can do something bigger, you could take it to another level. So now, listening to my brothers, my mind is at another place. Like, man, what if we came together and we did this, and collectively and stuff like that. But in the beginning, my mind wasn't there because it was just like survival mode. You just know, like, hey, I can go do this solo. But as you grow that's why I said earlier, no matter, we own means in real estate, but we still growing, we still evolving. And some of the stuff that I wasn't open to before, I'm open to now. So like now we can come together collectively, and it's like, whatever they want to do, and if we see fit, because all of us bring different stuff to the table. Me and Pierce got an eye for renovations and stuff like that. Jeremy is a designer. Derrick and Emmanuel talk about the systems and this. We got to do this, we got to do that, and stuff like that. So everybody brings something different to the puzzle. It's not like all of us do real estate, but all of us got a different skill set. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand how this stuff supposed to be done. Pierce can put his hands on it. Jeremy, he creative. He wanna decor. You know what I'm saying? Like Derrick and Emmanuel say, hey, look, we got to get this person in place, that person in place, and stuff like that. And once you get wiser and you get smarter, and the most key important thing to keep it real, when you let go of your ego and you say, let me have open ears, let me listen. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what they talking about instead of just quick to shut it down. You can, like, my business don't transform if I don't listen to what they say. Like, I would have still been doing the same thing. So I just say, I'm open to that, and whatever we got to do. One day we going to buy a big building. That's for sure. One day we going to do this, we going to do that. That's for sure, because of, like, we setting ourselves up to do it. And, when you got an ego and you immature and stuff like that, you don't understand, like, you can't hear it. You blocking out all the noise. But once you, like, when the pandemic will make you take the muscles off your ears, you start losing bread. Yeah. When you start losing money, it's a lot of different things that make you smarter and you wiser and stuff like that. And to that point, just to say this, bro, get in the right circles. Like, now I wouldn't be here today if it weren't my bro, Derrick, when he was in real estate, when he was like, his auntie did this, his granddad, they all did this. Me and him used to talk about this when we stayed in Florida. That's where he worked for Disney when he was an intern in Florida. Like, we used to talk about this in like 2012, bro. He'll tell you the correct year when he get on, but like, we talk about this then. And my bro Jeremy always said, go for what you know. And Pierce just a hustler. He like, bro, shit, I'm gonna figure that out. I don't care about that. Like I told him he couldn't dig a hole the other day. He told me come back at 2:00. I'm gonna show you. So like, you know what I'm saying? My bro Emmanuel, he just a hustler. He's like, let's do this, let's do that, let's do that. So all that stuff, man, the right circles, bro. You get in the right circles, it motivates you and stuff like that. You let go of the ego and you do this, and you can open yourself up. We're gonna create an equity firm one day. And Monroe for sure, me and Pierce, I'm gonna get him on board one day in Monroe. Since me and him the only two in Monroe, we gonna I got the office, we're gonna set it up, and we gonna, my bros can come in the city and now and run up their doors, because me and Pierce provided the business, the property management, the construction. We provided all that, so they have a safe place where they feel safe. Like, I can go run up my bag and I don't gotta feel like I gotta look for this person and that person to do X, Y, Z. So it's just about, man, equity fund coming soon. I'm speaking into existence now. We're gonna buy big buildings. We're gonna buy strip malls, shopping centers. It's on the way. It's just a matter of time.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Anybody else got a take on that?
Yeah, just to chime in a little bit. Definitely been in the works for a while now. I can't wait to see the end result, but we in the process now. We in the process of building it. And so it's going to be great. But to chime in on another side, just to empower group economics, showing young Black males from our community that you can join together with other, your peers, your friends, your family members, and form something that's dynamic. Build something that's way bigger than us that will outlive us. That's the most important thing, because at the end of the day, we're doing this for our families and generational wealth. And to say that, this group of Black males from Louisiana, Shreveport, and Monroe came together and going to be able to, make millions and billions and also take care of our families and our kids. I was telling my bros the other day, we was on a call on IG Live. I'm not worried about my kids. I'm not worried about my kids. We looking 5 generations down the line. So we trying to figure out how to make sure that we keep everything that we got in-house. It's putting it in a trust to make sure that everything is allocated the way it's supposed to be, and make sure that whoever is over it, to make sure that they know what to do to continue the legacy. And so it'll be the same thing in our group economics field. We'll have different representatives from our families coming together. And so, man, we just plan on taking it to a whole nother level. And that's really what it's all about, and just showing the world that it can be done, because, each one teach one. And then by the world seeing this, we'll be motivating millions, man. So I just can't wait.
Love it, man. I can't wait to see it.
I definitely, and I like to piggyback on that too. I think 2022, we definitely gonna try to. Well, I'm gonna push us to roll something out, whether they like it or not. Like, I'm the one that light the fire on Sam, and Emmanuel, with him being the youngest, most energetic of the group now, like, he should, if it makes sense, hey, if it don't make sense, let's figure it out, right? So I know I got Emmanuel on board. We gonna all bump heads at the end of the day, right? That's what brothers do. No family don't ever not bump heads, right? So but when you bump heads, it's okay. I trademarked this saying, we just want closure.
Yep.
Get to the table and get closure, right? Get to the table and get closure. So at the end of the day, when you get closure, you can move forward, right? So now we're all back here collectively, on this podcast, telling you in 2021, May of 2021, that by June of 2022, we plan on either having something rolled out or in the process of buying something. Like, we finna light the fire, and man, we finna get this thing cracking. So Pierce, Derrick, Hot, man, we gotta give Sam my word next time we come back. And then with Sam stamping it, what he's stamping it as, you'll see it when the name drop. Yeah, we gotta make something happen. We the king. Let's get it.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. I got to get down there. I got to find a way to get down to Louisiana and make some rounds and chop it up with you. Chop it up with y'all, man. I think that would be dope. We got to make that happen somehow.
Yeah. Yo, man, come on.
Whenever you come, we're gonna give you some of that Southern hospitality.
All right, appreciate it.
We're gonna get Derrick. Derrick gonna be the leader. He gonna roll everything out. One thing about him, he gonna roll everything out. So you ain't gotta worry about it, man. But I'm gonna say this again before we go, bro. Get in the right circle. Like I say, me and my brothers go up and down, but I can tell you, I got kids and I'm a husband and a father, but I can say everybody on this call, I learn something from every day, bro. It's not a day that I talk to these guys that I don't learn something. Like, it's like every day I'm like, damn, why you said that? I'm like, let me think about that and stuff like that. I be telling my wife, man, I gotta think about that. My wife be like, yeah, you go think about that. So I think about that and I'm like, man, I gotta figure that out. So all I'm saying is, to all the people inspiring, like this millions of dollars worth of real estate on this phone. Like this on this podcast right here, this like you can look at our page. Like we really we making it happen. You know what I'm saying? And besides that, you know, we all come together and stuff like that, man. And you can just learn something from the people you around, man. It's okay to learn from your peers. Like, bro, like my bro Jeremy always say, you don't gotta look up celebrities and stuff when you got people right in front of you doing it. You know what I'm saying? My bro Derrick told me he was gonna build a house and he doing it. You know what I'm saying? My brother Jeremy said, I'm gonna buy this block. He did that. My bro Pierce said, I'm gonna build this construction company. He did that. My bro Emmanuel said, I'm gonna open this restaurant. I'm gonna do X, Y, Z. He did that. It ain't nothing they told me they gonna do that they didn't do. So I can't even go back and call them out on it because they really went out and did it. So it's just about getting yourself in the right circle and you know, learning from each other and stuff like that and building off that. And all us under 35, man. And Emmanuel, I tell him all the time, he the youngest in charge. You ain't seen no guy that's 26 years old popping off like what he popping off. Saying you couldn't get nobody on the podcast at 26 making them type of like like not doing that like that right there, what he doing. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
So like it's about building and learning something, man. I don't know if I tell them guys enough. I learn something from them guys every day. And I know you gave me the first opportunity to do the podcast through our connection and us talking. You know, like it says something when you say, hey, it ain't big about myself. Like everything I do, let me tell somebody about my bros, because they popping stuff too. They got it going too. Like I don't want to get all the credit. I don't want to be like, nah, I know some guys that doing something too that I learned from day in and day out.
Yeah.
And so that's just very important, man. So I say, like Nip said, if you ain't getting inspired by your circle, you in the cage. So everybody that's gonna tap into this podcast and stuff like that, I say, man, look at your circle. If them guys ain't inspiring you, or them, you know, sis, whatever they call each other, girls, whatever they call it, they ain't inspiring you. You want to get out of that circle, man, because of like, you know, it's gonna hold you back. I ain't never had an idea that I went to my bros to and they shot me down. Like I told my bro Derrick the other day when they said on the call, and he was like, I ain't gonna never tell you to stop doing that. You know what I'm saying? My bro Jeremy say, bro, you need to go with your ideas. Stop changing your mind. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to like just get around people that's gonna inspire you and motivate you to go to the next level.
Love it, Derrick.
You got me. Oh man, it's the same thing, man. You know, for me, those guys calling me out talking about I'm gonna roll the red carpet out for you. I'm the planner, so I'm the first guy. Like, okay, what's the itinerary? What we doing? And speaking of that, man, like next week, man, we hosting our first meetup in the Northeast Louisiana area, man, real estate meetup. So we going down next Saturday. So we're gonna lead that, you know, classes, you know, educating as well. So man, one thing that we adamant about is taking care of our people. Sam, you know what I'm saying? We give back to the community. I'm building in the community. We get money back in the community. You know what I'm saying? Because this real estate thing is just the beginning and it's cool. But, you know, we got to give back to our people, because if we talk about the history of redlining and all that type, you know, I call it a candy apple redline because we painted candy apple red. We making it look real sweet. So, you know, we're not playing with these boys no more. We hitting hard. We building grocery stores. We're going from the ground up. You know, I know my brothers talk about buying. We ain't got to buy nothing no more. We're going to go purchase the land and we'll just build it ourselves. So, you know, man, we're not playing no more. We taking whatever we want. And if you in the way, we'll figure out how to get around you.
Love it, man. Love it, man. I'm pumped up.
And if we can't get around you, we're going to go through you.
It is.
I see you, man. I like that. Man, this has been dope, man. I've been looking forward to this. It's been a long time coming, you know, as you all know, man. And I think it's great. I think it's great just to of course get an update. You know, it's one thing to have a guest come back, but I think just to have a group of brothers who know one another, to introduce everybody to peers, and just to see how y'all you're still here, right? You know, the pandemic happened, people lost money, things happened, but you're still here. You know, you could have said, hey, I'm out of this game. Let me just start selling these properties off. But you stuck with it. So I'm very glad that y'all are still kicking it. You know, I know the next update, we're going to hear even more things. You know, we easily have well over 100 doors here, several million in real estate. And it's going to be even more the next time. So I can't wait, man. I'm excited to see how things progress. And I'm excited to put this out. And for everybody to hear stories for themselves.
Hey Sam, I like to ask a question.
Yeah.
Or I like to put a question out there.
Yeah.
like Hot Dog said, it ain't like don't think about all the glitz and glamour because that ain't all it is. But when you getting ready to get into this real estate, you know, ask yourself like, what do you really want out of this? Because it's a want. So you have to figure out your want. So ask yourself like, what do you really want out of this? And when you get into it, like, what are your goals, short term and long term? So figure out your want and make them wants align with those short term and long term goals. So ask yourself, like, what do you want? What is my long term goal? I'd always say, figure it out and then work backwards to get where you're trying to go. So that short term got to meet up with that long term. And it's no right or wrong way to invest in real estate. It's okay. Everybody had their own way. Nobody's reinventing the wheel, but everybody's putting their own spin on it. So at the end of the day, get some closure within yourself and ask yourself, like, what is my want? And what is my short-term and my long-term goal? How can we make it work? How can we make it meet up? That's it.
Love it. Any other tips anyone wants to offer to somebody who might be interested in real estate? They hear this, they're inspired. What's one thing you want them to consider? I appreciate you making the plug for that, Jeremy, and starting that up.
Man, I say get in the right circle, man, and just believe in yourself and bet on yourself, man. Like, just educate yourself, man. Don't give up, bro. You're going to go through ups and downs, but that's okay. Like, when my bro Derrick come and say, I'm building a house, you think I'm finna go crawl on the bridge? No, I'm finna go do something because he motivated me because he doing something, you know what I'm saying? Man, you're 20-some years old. You think when he say, hey, bro, I'm opening this restaurant, I'm going to go crawl. No, I'm going to go do something because he dreamt about a block of properties. Pierce said, bro, I'm going to start a construction company. This is what it is. So it's like getting inspired by others that's right around you and don't give up, man. This has been a journey. We all started this with an idea, man. Like, this was just an idea. And you look at us now, you know, we appreciate people like you, Sam, like, for giving us a platform to explain it. You know, I always tell you that. Yeah. You know, I always tell you, like, bro, like, people like you gave us a platform to explain. So just don't give up. You're going to go through trials and errors, ups and downs. You're going to go through friendship breakups. You're going to go through, you know, whatever the case might be, but don't give up, man, and just stay down and keep hustling and keep grinding. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, this, you know, I don't want to curse, but this don't stop. You know, it don't stop. You feel me? Like, no matter what, you know, them just is speed bumps on your marathon. Them just speed bumps that you ran into. But if you look at those like brick walls, you finish, you feel me? Mm-hmm. Like, you just look at it like, this is a speed bump. Like, I'm going to push through this. I'm going to do that and stuff like that, man. So get in the right circles and just don't give up, man. Stay down. And if you stay down and you work on your dreams, you work on your goals, and you make your scheme better, like, you know, your dreams will turn to reality, man. Because everybody on this phone, on this podcast, all our dreams turn to reality. And this was just an idea from me and my bro talking about this. And he say, my auntie and my granddad and them do this. And my bro Jeremy said, I'm at the courthouse steps. And Pierce saying he gonna do this. And Dame saying he gonna do this. It was just an idea, man. You look up, we turned the ideal into millions of dollars in real estate. We turned the ideal into we closing all the time. We turned the ideal into stocks and into we doing this, we doing that, roofs and this and that. Like, man, you can't tell me, like, it just can't happen. So just don't give up, man. And just bet on yourself.
Oh, well, I'll go next. I mean, one thing for me, man, I piggyback off of that. I think that when you get into this game, man, you just got to know who you are. So I'm a big proponent of this. It's like I always catch this line. I would say you got to know who you are. Who do you want to be in real estate? You can focus only on one thing. You can multitask and do many things, but you can only focus on one thing. You got hot-nosed guys. Those guys were laborers. They're really good with their hands. Me, myself, I spent a lot of time in college and things like that. So I'm more prone to the blue-collar type of mentality. So I look at the numbers. And I wanted to invest in multifamily. You got to figure out who you want to be. Do you want to flip? Do you want single family? Do you want to build? And you have to first focus on that. Get good at that. And then you can spin off and roll into other things, you know, and then it's a multitude of things like Hype really diversified his money. Oh, sorry, Lamon. He really diversified his money with Section 8. Then he had open market. So he explained that system to us because I was like, hey, man, why you only investing in Monroe? Because we trying to go to Arkansas too, Sam. You know, that's behind it, the covers. I know how to start LLCs in Arkansas for $45. Yeah. You know, So we already went up there, man, and we trying to look and we seeing some things going on. So third or fourth quarter, we trying to sneak up there, get a bag. But man, I would say just define who you are, be clear in who you are and your vision, get your circle together, have people that hold you accountable. Pierce did a job for me. He held me accountable. I held him accountable. Jeremy always challenged me in the Shreveport market. He told me some things not to buy. I was hard-headed, holding me accountable. And Emmanuel as well. I hold him accountable all the time. So, that's really what I got to say to that.
So, man, I just say just get started. Like, it can be easy to get stuck in the analysis paralysis phase and say, reading books, listening to podcasts, but you'll never get in any experience like the real world experience and invest in experience. You just want to get started and make sure that you have that mindset, coming into it. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard at times. You're going to have to make some sacrifices. Like last weekend on a Friday, I was at the restaurant at 10 p.m. painting for a few hours. So it's, I could have been out partying and different things like that, but I know, hey, I have a why. I have a, and like we talked about, like Jeremy said, hey, you want to figure out your why before you get into real estate. And then you want to reverse engineer back to that to see, okay, this is my why. What it's going to take to get to this why. So you're going to put building blocks, like what it get to A to Z, what it's going to take. And so it's going to take sacrifices. It's going to be hard work. It's not all easy and peasy. We may post on Instagram some of the good highlights, but it's motivation. It's a lot that goes along with behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. So you just have to be ready for that as well, too. As long as you get your mindset right and know that, hey, you're going to have some hard times. You're going to have to make some sacrifices. But at the end of the day, like how Lamon says, the good outweigh the bad. So you just got to keep your marathon going, keep running on your journey, and everything will be worth it in the end.
Love it.
Come on, Pierce, man. You got to say something, bro. You got to finish it out.
I was waiting my turn, man. But what I say, man, is just don't overthink it for one, and it's really not that hard, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, whatever you do, cash, bank financing, whatever it is, you do all the work yourself, or you use contractors, whatever it is, just get it done. And it's not that hard. And also too, like everybody, like I like a good point that Derrick made. Like he loves his job, he ain't leaving. Like everybody don't have to be that real estate mogul that ends up quitting and goes off and builds $1 billion portfolio. You don't have to be that guy. You can have your 10, 15 different properties, buy them over 10 or 15 years, and that's your lane. Do that. You know what I'm saying? Like just stay in the lane that makes you comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, like everybody on here has said, like know your why. And if your why calls for 100 doors or your why calls for one, just know that and just be confident in that. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, it ain't hard. It ain't hard at all.
Love it. Before we wrap, could you all let everyone know where they could follow you? Of course, I'll have all the information in the post and the show notes, but just let them know where they could reach you, where they could find you on social media, and just the best places to contact you if they want to connect and just follow what you have going on. I guess Pierce, you can go first.
Oh yeah, man, I don't even know my IG. I think
that boy Pierce nameless.
Ghost, man, that's Ghost.
Pierce _Cooper _Junior. I believe that's it. And
cool.
Like I said, you can also follow me. I haven't really been doing a lot on there, but Prolific Construction 318 on IG and Facebook. So that's pretty much it, man. Instagram and Facebook.
Cool.
1-800-HUSTLER, man. One _800 hustler, man. And yeah, you can follow me on there. We're gonna be posting. We got some stuff we're working on, and just shout out to the bros, man. Shout out to the bros. We're gonna keep making moves, and we're gonna keep going. and we gonna keep hustling, man. So yeah, like Derrick said, we got the class coming up. If you in the Monroe Market, Shreveport Market, Texas, you can come down, whatever the case might be. We're gonna have that going. And 1_800 hustler. That's where you can catch me on IG posting stuff and trying to just get people to see what we got going on and stuff like that. Sam, this shit going viral. We making this.
We gotta make it go viral.
They can know. For they know. They know. Hey, they know we the biggest. Like this is a real life. This real life. This ain't no like. This is real life. Like you know what I'm saying. So that's where you can find me. I just use Instagram and stuff like that. So that's the handle on Instagram.
I'm JT Money on Instagram. I'm JT Money 07 on Instagram at JT Money 07. On Facebook, Jeremy Taylor. Hit me. Cell number. You want to, reach out to me is 318-588-6745. If I don't answer, leave me a message, shoot me a text. I'll follow up with you. I definitely want you to go see the break-in, man. I can't make this up.
I gotta check that out, bro. I'm check it after this.
It really happened. So I want you to check that out. But hey, hit me on IG, y'all, at JT Money 07 on Facebook, Jeremy Taylor, business line. If you want to hit me up, 318-588-6745. Again, 318-588-6745. We can run it.
Or you can check the hashtag We Want Closure. You'll find them.
Also check the hashtag We Just Want Closure. Put the trademark sign behind it.
That's a fact.
That's it, man. You got me, man. I believe it's at Al Investment Group, like the animal OWL Investment Group on IG. Then you got myself personally, D_Johnson 59, at IG. So business line 318-459-8968. Business email magnoliajohnsonestates@gmail.com. You guys reach out, man. It's never a dull moment. We got packages to get people started. I got a database, to get you started, lines of credit, whatever you need.
I'm an investor, EB17 on Instagram and Twitter. And also my email is pratikestates@gmail.com. So if you have any questions, just, reach out to me and we'll help you get you started. And Sam, again, I want to thank you for extending your platform, man, all you do. You helping shift our culture and going in the right direction, man. So definitely much appreciated.
Shout out to Sam, man. Shout out to you, man. It's really important getting everybody that's black and brown looking like us, man. In particular, no shout out to the other counterparts, but it's us that's moving this line forward, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate y'all too.
Hey, yeah, real talk, Sam.
You the man, Sam.
Hey, Sam, you gave us a platform to explain it, bro. I'll tell you that all the time. I really appreciate that. We got each other number, and we, I sent you some encouraging words a couple weweeks ago, man. So just keep going and keep hustling, man. I remember when you first started this, you just started this. Now look, you got all these followers, and you doing these Zoom classes, and you doing all this cool stuff, and you represent people like us, man. Like all this on this call came from a real place, man, and we been able to figure something out, man. So we really appreciate you for giving us this opportunity to explain what we got going on and to motivate somebody out there to keep pushing and keep going and keep hustling and don't never stop.
Definitely means a lot.
Look, I wish we had this podcast about 4 or 5 years ago. All we had was bigger pockets back then, bro. So, shout out to you, man.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Thank y'all for coming on. Definitely we'll be in touch, of course. And for everyone who's listening, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Black Real Estate Dialogue podcast. If you want to keep up with what we have going on, check out blackrealestatedialogue.com. Look forward to hearing from you all soon.